This is one of my favorite techniques when it comes to taping lateral ankle sprains. Now, if you are someone who has stepped and rolled their ankle, it's not a pleasant experience, and there's probably gonna be a lot of swelling and a lot of pain, especially when it comes to walking. First off, you wanna make sure that you are ruling out any sort of fracture or higher level sprain or strain. So if you haven't done so already, ensure that you get it evaluated by a doctor. But once you get to that point, you go to physical therapy or you choose to do something on your own, one of the first things that you need to do is actually focus on swelling management and also pain modulation. I'm a huge fan of actually using something like kinesio tape. I prefer actually using rock tape to provide that support and stability. And the use of this tape is actually really helpful because it lifts the skin off the tissues, allowing blood flow to occur, minimizing swelling, minimizing pain, while also providing what we call a neuromodular experience. So this is how you do it. You take your tape. Now, if you have tape that's already pre-cut, that's great. I like to think about measuring a piece from maybe like the base of my foot to about a quarter of my thigh. And I'll actually cut 2 pieces because I'm a huge fan of actually ensuring that I get a lot of different coverage. So you can actually cut 2 equal sized pieces. And if you cut these pieces yourself, you want to make sure that you actually have some pretty rounded edges. So as you're doing this, if you have rounded edges, you will have a lower likelihood of fraying in the piece of tape. So you're gonna get really good at using scissors and cutting nice soft lines. From there, once you create your nice soft lines and soft borders so that there's no fraying, we have to then identify the location of where you need some ankle help. Now, as I said, this taping is gonna be really helpful when it comes to swelling management. So once you get your piece of tape like this, we're gonna keep one piece intact or one edge intact, and we're gonna cut right down the middle of the tape to allow us to be able to spread that tape apart a little bit. And I'll show you why that's so important, but you're gonna create a 2-strap tape like this. Again, we're gonna round the edges so that there's no fraying. And you're gonna do it on both sides. Doing this is gonna be really important because it allows us to get as much surface area and as much connection to the tape as possible. And when you have connection to the tape, it allows you to get a lot of blood flow and allows that skin to be elevated as well as that nervous system to be awake, allowing that ankle to feel nice and supported. This is not actually going to create any sort of physical support, but you will provide what we call tactile support, which again influences the muscles to create stability on its own. Especially when you sprain a joint, the area is going to shut down because that's a response to pain. So what you're going to do is the following. You have your piece of tape. What I like to do is I like to rip it right below where it gets split in half. And then from there, I'm actually going to be placing it on the back edge of my ankle first to use it as an anchor point. So I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna put it onto the back of my ankle. So then that way I can experience the split of the tape. I'm gonna take the front edge of the tape and I'm going to be wrapping it around up to the front of my ankle. And then I'm going to create a little bit of a curve. As you can see, it goes forward and back, and it's heat activated, so give it a nice little rub. The back piece, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the back portion of the ankle, and then I'm gonna cross over to give my ankle a little bit more support. So as you can see, I'm putting it at the base of my ankle, forward and back, making it work well for the ankle stability. I have a second piece of tape. Now, this time around, I'm going to put it on the front aspect because that's another area that gets often injured with a lateral ankle sprain. So I do the same thing. I make a rip at the top. I put the big solid piece of tape on the front of that ankle bone, giving it a little bit of tactile support. I take this front piece of tape or the top piece of tape, I go up. I go up and around to give this ankle a little bit more support. And as you can see, it gets towards the back portion of my ankle. Last piece of tape, I go behind the ankle bone, and then I move up towards the ankle. Now, as you can see, it moves up. You don't really need to apply that much stretch, but the key thing is that we are providing support right here at the base of the ankle, which is going to be crucial to reducing pain, swelling, and improved function. Try that out. If you do it right, it should stay on for 3 to 5 days.